Is Trevor St a guest star on The Young and the Restless? Additionally, Adam's depression and Diane's future plans. Season 1, The Young and the Restless. Wow, you're rocking that look. Some of my favorite moments from the past 5 days were when Deacon Sharp visited Young and Restless to see Nikki, and that's not even counting the gold that was mined from the flashbacks. Funny as hell, Deacon was doing his hardest to win over Nikki, but she wasn't having any of it. The chemistry between them is back, and I can't wait to see what happens next. At the restaurant, what is he planning on giving her as a gift? Guesses? Stay alert. According to spoilers, Kyle and Summer were supposed to learn something surprising about their mothers this past week. I'm still curious as to what that revelation could be. Certainly not unexpected or even surprising. It was possible that they would discover that their wedding in Italy was not recognized by the law. While this might not seem like a big concern, it would have been a fun twist if it meant they could remarry in front of their loved ones in a legally binding ceremony. The show's lack of pizzazz is perfectly illustrated by the fact that it is unclear what astounding discovery they actually made. Accusations made. Mothers Phyllis and Diane have reverted to acting like teens, which may explain why Kyle and Summer have had to take on a parental role. This is not the path I would have chosen. I would have preferred to see the women plotting. Scenes involving Susan Walters and Michelle Stafford, despite their more understated banter, are effective. The sarcastic Jan look sex change while one person is talking. I simply can't get enough of it. When asked about the incident that led to their dismissal, Soap's Charlie Mason said that Phyllis had crossed a line by pushing Diane's buttons to the point where she exploded. However, it was Diane who accused Phyllis of planting a file on her computer, a loose end, BD, which arguably set off the button pushing. Even if Kyle's mom is making an effort to change, she's still Diane, as proven by her exposing her true colors, and Phyllis and Nikki still view her as a major and immediate threat. Like many soap opera cliches, I believe this one will end with the person that no one listens to being proven to have been right all along. Holy crap! That was embarrassing. It was inevitable that Allie's plan to have Phyllis and Diane arrive at the party at different times so they could celebrate with Kyle and Summer would fail. What an uncomfortable situation for Phyllis when she stepped in and saw everyone already there. When Phyllis started to grow upset, Diane rolled her eyes. When she finally composed herself and stood to give a toast, her rival mumbled, "Here we go." I found it to be delightful. Maybe Phyllis was sad because her beloved hotel had been destroyed. For a moment there, I thought Noah was launching a club devoted to contemporary art. There was one decorative pillow whose design may have been mistaken for art. Although Tessa and Mariah's 1970s themed wedding was a lot of fun for guests, it was probably not a good idea to construct a bar with the same aesthetic. It's fantastic news, that's for sure. It would be perfect for a hookah bar. Returning to Diane, we learn from the spoilers that she'll take a risk next week, most likely in an attempt to draw closer to Jack. Given the apparent danger she faces, she'll want him on her side if her reaction to the latest mysterious text is anything to go by. Now we come to problem fixed. Trevor St. aka Tucker McCall, is probably the identity of the mysterious texter Diane has been exchanging messages with on her way to Genoa City. It's possible that the actor's age is being adjusted or that the character's age is being adjusted to make the story work. All the evidence points in this direction. There is some history between them, and the 28th of September has just been announced as St. John's expected arrival date. In the sneak peek, we find Diane accosted in her room. Spoilers from the future also lend credence to the idea that McCall will return. In the fall preview, Sod implied that Ashley would have a compelling motive to come back to GC and remain a regular cast member. They have a romantic history. Devin introduces a familiar face, perhaps his father, and Victor is supposedly reunited with an old faux Tucker. Before we lost touch with McCall, he had moved into an ashram, given away all of his assets, and told his son Devin that corporate earnings were being stolen by employees. In other words, did Tucker make a comeback? Is he the wealthy man who Deacon spotted Diane with as they cruised Los Angeles in a Bentley? Soon enough, we'll know for sure. Nate had completely lost his mind. The doctor, Nate, was always on the straight and narrow, perhaps even to the point of being too buttoned up, but suddenly he's done a complete about-face for no apparent reason. But even though I believe he will come to regret making making a deal with Victoria, he is more intriguing now than ever before, and Shun Dominic is really making the plot click. Fans of the show observed that Nate and Imani shared a warm embrace this week, but were perplexed by the absence of a dramatic musical cue to accompany the moment. Welcome to Young and Restless, the home of lost chances. As expected, newcomer Audra Charles showed up and proved out to be the expert Jill had tasked with assisting with the initial public offering. Several things have me wondering. Who is Chancellor Winter's current leader? I was under the impression that Jill was returning to an advisory role, but instead she is aggressively pushing her notion through. Absolutely hilarious. Now that we're back with Audra, she's dealing with Nate, whose relationship with Ellen is shaky but whose new girlfriend Imani is waiting in the wings. Could Audra have feelings for someone besides Adam? Smoke that joint. And while we're on the subject of Adam, I have to say that I don't blame him for wanting to know if Sally and Nick are actually having sexual relations. It could be the result of his oversight, but you probably still care to know. Watch for Adam to approach Nick again this week after Sally flatly rejected the hookup and told him he was disgusting for even thinking it. Nick telling Adam they are making love is something I can easily picture happening. There's a piece of him that needs him to find out. Now Adam has another family member to add to his list of betrayals. Are we returning to the abyss? Possibility cannot be ruled out. Having stated that, the pull from both sides of the triangle ensures its success. Feeling bad? This week, Chelsea's persistence paid off, and Victoria told Johnny the truth after agreeing to talk to her. To be honest, I don't have as much invested in this as I should. Perhaps it's because Victoria and the children are rarely in the spotlight. As for me, I have a strong suspicion that something bad is going to happen. Do I have any company? As I said, this is simply my personal perspective. Please feel free to add your thoughts to the discussion.